My name is Maggie, and I'm here to share a intuitive perspective with some oracle cards here. I have 3 cards representing the instinct, the gut, the intuition, the heart, and the intellect, the mind. Today is day 26, I believe, of sharing these readings. So thank you for being here. Like, comment, subscribe to the video if you resonate with these messages. So let's dive into today's energy. For the instinct, we have growth. For the intuition, we have self. And for the intellect, we have duality. Wow, if I couldn't, this is very accurate. It's mosquito, sorry. So, in the instinct, we have, well, first of all, I'm just gonna pull up all of these cards real quick because look at that. That is expansion right there. If I don't know what self-growth looks like, this is something like it. So we have a true self, and we have like a false self, and we have like these narratives of who we think we are, and that resides in the mind, right? It resides in this dual atmosphere of ego, of just all of these stories, all of these mind tricks, all of these patterns, all of this programming is very dual. While in the heart, in the intuition, we do have a true self. We do have a way of being our true essence is kind of a way to put it, but more so like a golden personality is kind of what I'm feeling, like kind of getting beyond the persona. So okay, let's go with that. So if the persona is dual, or the persona is a mask, your true self is the one wearing every single mask. So there's only one, right? There's only one person wearing each mask that of who you think you are. Each story that you tell, every role that you play, is that persona, is you stepping, like you playing a certain role, right? And for today's energy with this growth here, it feels like there's it may be hurting, like growing pains, that we're being asked to look deeper, maybe to observe more, to see past who we think we are, to see past every single mask and grow from within, right? Grow from who we know to be, not who we think we know, because that gut instinct is can't really be like the feel, like the gut instinct, like that knowing like within you is very powerful, and it's not at all, like it's kind of subtle. So what I'm feeling here is like there's a very strong direction into the self that is truth, like a really like a stand in the truth of who you are. So I'm going to clarify each card, and then we'll do an overall card as well. So for growth, we have ego. For self, we have sorrow. For duality, we have reward. That was quite the change. So when considering ego, it's part of our primal brain. This is our evolution. We have an ego. We have this part of the mind that wants to control, wants to question, wants to define, wants to analyze, And it's not just the ego. I'm being a little broad here. But in psychology, the ego structure is like the id, the ego, and the superego, where the id is like our instinct, just our instinctual, like automatic habits, like without thinking, that is our id. Where the ego questions, the ego is like, are you sure you want to do that? You know, kind of come like, it's that like reinforcement, where the superego is kind of like the subconscious mind, is kind of like the God of like observing it all and kind of being like that last one to be like, this is right and this is wrong. And depending on each of our minds, it's different, right? We each have a certain patterning, a certain sequence, a certain like structure of the mind. And so with reward here is what I'm feeling is there's ways that we reward ourselves for feeding our ego, right? You know, the way that we reward is very tied to our behavior. And I like these two cards here because it's kind of the same symbol. Like in order to really see growth, you can reward yourself. But with the reward here, it's kind of like dark and stuck in the middle here. Like rewards can be very limiting, or it can continue the cycle of a pattern, right? If you have a certain way of doing things and you want to change a habit, if you keep rewarding yourself by doing that same pattern, you know you're going to keep doing it. Or you find a way in your mind to kind of almost like try to trick your mind into being like, well, if I do this, then I'm going to do this. Like with eating, I'm sure we all do some sort of negotiating with our mind with what we want to eat. So like little things like that. This is that realm that we are growing in. It is usually the smaller habits, the behavior that is the hardest to change, right? So with the intuition here, we have the self and the sorrow coming up. And this may be to who you used to be. It can feel like maybe the growth that you've gone through it can be a lot. Maybe you've like lost some people along the way. Like maybe you just don't feel the same anymore. Then that's all right. That's all right. The sad feeling of knowing that you have changed can be something that you are happy about. And it's not about pressuring to be happy. And maybe that's what this is about too. It's like when we pressure ourselves to be happy, like I'm gonna do this because I want to be happy. That's that, you know, like attaching to the behavior, attaching to the pattern, where I'm going to experience this because my body wants to experience this, or I'm going to eat this because it tastes really good and I want to enjoy it. There's a difference there. It's like not tricking your mind into feeling better, where you come from a place to be like, this is going to make me feel better, without like thinking about it. I hope this makes sense. This is just what's kind of coming up. In the realm of the self and discovering who we are, I do want to note that every single person's journey is different. Every person's path is unique, and every person's self is therefore unique. So we don't have a blueprint. We don't have directions to, you know, like who we are. This is that internal work. We have to understand who we are, how we interact with the world, and therefore ask these questions of, this is what I'm doing, like this is how I'm acting. And knowing that mind, the one asking the questions in the mind, the ego that's trying to doubt it, how can you shift that narrative in your mind? It's very powerful. Now, again, that dual aspect that I mentioned in the beginning. So let's do one card overall. Empathy. Beautiful. Yeah. Because of this change, this process that each one of us is going through in every day, the power of empathy is very beautiful, powerful, helping to know that, you know, we don't know the path that somebody has walked to get where they're at, and to be compassionate, to be open, to be loving, to be kind is the best gift that we can give somebody at any time, no matter how they may feel. So that understanding, to just be like, yo, we are human, and it is not easy to figure all of this out, and we don't even have to really figure it out. So it's interesting because each one of us has a viewpoint, right? And we like to share our viewpoints, and we like to share our emotions, we like to share how we feel. And being open, being understanding is a really impactful part of the journey. So thank you for tuning into this video today, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.